Hello.
How are you?
Good. Let's get comfy.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're more than welcome.
So tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Lauren. I am the star of Three Trees.
You're the mummy of Olive Team.
I am the team manager of Olive Team. So I run 2 lovely services. And I absolutely think the world of the pair of them. Like literally, I love them so much.
I can see that.
Yes,
It's so nice to see.
I know. I literally live with them. It's kind of sad, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I literally wouldn't. I've never done care before this job. I worked in retail.
And how long have you been with us now?
I think it's 8 years.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realise
I
it was that long.
After like 3 years, I think I just gave up counting. I was just like, oh, I'm here now. So, but I think it's 8 years. I think, or maybe even 9. I don't know. I remember starting at Christmas time, and then that was it, really.
Yeah, because you came from retail, didn't you?
I did.
And was it your sister who convinced you?
It was.
I remember, yeah.
So I worked in retail with my sister. We've got this thing where we like work alongside each other all the time. It's quite sad.
Oh, I love that though.
I know, it's so cute. But we worked in the range, and then she done a bit of care work for another company, hated it. It just wasn't for her. And then she found Three Trees because another member of staff left the range and went to Three Trees. So she was like, you guys need to come and join. This is amazing. It's like going to change your life.
It's just like the ripple effect.
I know. It was literally like a domino effect. I was like, oh my gosh. And then, I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to leave. So I handed in my notice, obviously passed the interview. Like, who wouldn't want this face?
Exactly. You bring all the energy.
I know. I'm very positive. And then, I started off as a support worker, and I think I was then here for 3 years, and they approached me and asked me to be a team leader. So I completely skipped some steps, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I've had manager experience before, but I suppose like running a shop, stacking shelves, looking after a human being, it's like 2 different ends of the spectrum. So I was like, do you know what? If I do it, if I don't like it, I'll just step back down. But I knew I wanted to stay here. And then, those years have just flown by. Literally, like the Christmas, it's like, oh my God, it's Christmas next week. Oh my God, that's another year done. What on earth? So it's just gone so fast.
Time flies when you're enjoying yourself.
Exactly. Time flies when you're having fun, Kate. That is
exactly. What was the transition like? So from coming from obviously retail into care, like how
absolutely petrifying. Don't get me wrong. I remember sitting in induction going, I can't do this. I can't do it. Because you hear so many like horror stories around care. Oh, I'm going to get beat up. I'm going to get like bit, punched. And I honestly can say in the like 8 to 9 years I've worked here, I think I've had my hair pulled once. And that's because I know the guys, I know their triggers. So I'm like, you're getting off baseline now. Let me just retract, give you some space. Do you know what I mean? We're in their faces 24/7. If I was like that, I would want to swing for someone and all, like, go away. But it was a big transition, and to learn so many different things. And it gave me such an understanding as well of people like autism and stuff like that. Before this job, I never heard of autism. It's definitely been like a big eye-opener for me.
Like, I think it was me and Ben were discussing that the other day, how it really does change your perception on things. You become more socially aware.
Yes.
And so much of that changes from working with adults with disabilities.
Oh my God. Even down to like watching TV shows, like The Big Bang Theory with Sheldon Cooper. I just thought it was weird. I just thought it was weird. And then I watch it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got autism. And all the things that he does is because he has to do it. It's like his little routine. I think it was like one of them was he was getting his hair cut by the same bloke, and the bloke died. And he was like, I can't do it. And like, whereas before I'd watch that program and think, oh, he's just being fussy. Now I'm like, no, it's because that's him and that's his pattern and his behaviour. So I was like, oh my gosh. And the more I watch stuff, I'm like, yeah, we got autism. I understand. I completely understand. From working in care, you could see it in the public. And I'd just be like, if I'm like with my nephew or anything, I'd be like, right, don't stare. They're just having a bad day. Move along. I remember being a child and staring, going, oh my God, what's wrong with that person? But now I know, we all have our own little quirks anyway. I probably do weird things that people think, what the hell is she doing? But that's what I do. I'm like, that's my little quirk. So yeah.
One thing I've noticed about Three Trees and Olive Team, because obviously I've been doing some shifts, is how like just the great team that we've got, like how much everyone like cares for each other. And I feel like you're really integral in that, and like you're just such like a positive force. And I feel like that's probably why you are such a good team leader, because
thank you.
you're so chirpy, but you're obviously, so would you say like that you need a certain quality to become like a team leader in the care industry?
I think you do. I think you, one, have to give it your all. This is not a 9 to 5 job. You don't go home and go, right, that's it, bye. You know, I go home and I sit and check my phone. If like one of you guys text me, I'll respond to you. Unless I'm like, you know, doing something like on holiday, then I'm like, no, sorry girls, I'm sunbathing in the Maldives. I wish. Leave me be. But yeah, I think you have to be, you know, approachable is a really good thing. There's nothing worse than being an unapproachable manager. Like, I couldn't think of like a time where staff think, oh, I can't come talk to Lauren. And it could be something to do with work, something to do with personal life. You know, you do become like a mother hen, or, you know, if you're a gentleman as a manager, you do become that sort of like Dear Deirdre vibe, like, oh, I'm having this problem. And you're like, okay, well, let's try and help you. Let's like, is it work? Can I do anything at work to help you? You become sort of like an agony aunt, really, you know, and I get it a lot. I get people coming in and I feel like I get to know the girls as well. So I'll be like, what's the matter with her? There's something wrong with her. She's not talking on me. I'll be like, right, what's wrong? Come on, let's have a chat. Let's have a coffee. What's the matter? And it'll be something so minuscule. And I'll be like, right, well, see, that's better now. You spoke about it. And they're like, yeah, I feel better now, Laura. Thank you so much. And I'm like, it's all right. Don't worry about it. And you become like it with the parents as well. So working alongside parents, that's a big thing. You've got to work together. If you butt heads, it's not going to work, you know. I look after a lady and her parents are very involved. And, you know, I could be like, oh, are you okay? And it could be something like, you know, small to them. And I'd be like, well, I can help you with that. Don't worry about the lady. She's fine. It's okay. And they're like, I know, you do look after her very, very well. And I'm like, thank you very much. But yeah, you do. You become that person that everybody goes to.
You come from a caring background.
Yeah.
Your mum was a carer.
Yeah.
What have you learned? Like, how do you think being a carer for 8 years here, like?
I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I think I've learned a lot about people, mainly. I was very sort of, you know, tunnel vision of people. I would stare at people who would be like having an outburst, like, and go, oh my God, what the hell, run away. And now I realise everything, you know, everything's, I can't think of the word now. Everything has a rhyme or reason, something along them lines. I can't remember.
Yeah, everyone's like going through something you don't know anything about.
It's definitely made me grow. I grew up in care homes. My mum, obviously, as we said, was a carer. She was a carer for Brunel Care, and I remember going in and her doing like Tuesday evening dinner, and I'd go in and have a dinner with the ladies, and I sit and call out the bingo cards and stuff like that. So I think because I grew up with that background, I do have a little bit of understanding. But that was mainly elderly care. But when you come to learning disability, it's a whole different kettle of fish. It's so different, you know. But I think it has helped me as a person. And I think it's grown, you know. I've got my younger sister, Danielle, working here now. My mum currently works here. And my sister works here. And I think it makes us more caring, I think, in our everyday life. You know, like even things like we go above and beyond for people all the time. You know, even friends, family, stuff like that. So yeah, I think I have grown up since I've been here, 100%. I was like this immature little girl. I'm still very immature in my own little way, but I was very immature, and now I feel grown. I feel grown, like I'm turning 30 in 2 weeks. I feel like a grown woman now. So yeah, it's weird. It is weird. I feel like I've grown up with 3 trees. It's made me grow up a lot. So yeah, and the whole perspective of life as well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you manage to like balance your social life with the role?
It's very difficult. It is very difficult. I've gained amazing friends here, like friends I know I will have for the rest of my life.
Emily just said.
Yeah, amazing friends for the rest of my life. And I think having friends who understand. So I do have other friends as well. I've had school friends for like 20 odd years. And to manage that, I'll just send them a load of dates. I'm like, these are dates I'm free. Feel free to pick one of those dates if you want to meet up. Even down to like my relationship at home, you know, it can take a toll. You know, the long hours can take a toll. The on-call can take a toll on it. But I think you've got to have a good support system at home. I think you've got to have people who understand that this job does not stop for Christmas, Easter, your birthday. It is 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. So, you know, like you've got to come into that maybe 1 year you're going to spend Christmas with a client, but for them, that means the world. And I've done my fair share of Christmases on shift. And I tell you now, it is a hoot and a half. It's so fun. I love it. It's so good when we all get together and have a roast dinner. I'm like, love it.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Nice. So you don't feel like you're missing out. Obviously, it is difficult because you're not with your family, but, you know, like they are my family as well. So I'm like, well, I'm spending Christmas with them. You know, I don't care. Yeah, I get the roast dinner wrong. Come on, off we go. Let's pull a cracker. So it is lovely. It is really nice. So, yeah, I enjoy it. Even like down to planning all the parties. I love that. So I'm like, yeah, look, someone's birthday, right, let's start a party. Oh, coronation, let's do a party.
Oh, amazing. I know. And summer's coming up, so we'll have lots to look forward to, especially now the restrictions of...
That's what I mean, COVID really hit us.
Because obviously you were here before, so you had to see like the huge toll that it took. Like I was chatting to Emily and she joined during COVID. So obviously, yeah, I can't imagine how that must have...
If I tell people what we were like before COVID, they go like, no, you're lying. You're lying. You went all Skittles together. You did that. And they're like, you're lying. I'm like, no, I'm telling you now. We've done loads together. And I think COVID did hit us in the sense that we were a big team. And where we have our own teams, we've kind of segregated into those now. But I'm hoping, you know, that we can all come together. Like I've been banging on at Stu about a Christmas party. I can't say it enough. I'm like, we need a Christmas party, Stu. This is enough now. Come along.
Obviously, we're saying like the recognition is not what we have like as social care workers. Like we're so undervalued, underrepresented. Do you think anything has changed since you first started in care in terms of like the care sector? Like how do you think it's like?
I just think we keep being forgotten, you know?
Yeah.
I think what infuriates me the most is that when it was like the clap for carers, you know, everyone was stood there clapping. And it felt nice for a while, you know, as the weeks went on, it was like fewer claps, and then it went quiet. But I think we are very unrecognised. I think people think that we are glorified changers, you know, but I feel like everyone in their lifetime is going to know someone that's in care, you know. If we weren't here, there'll be no one to be like, they'll just get left, do you know what I mean? So I just think we do need recognition. You know what I mean? Like the NHS, I take my hat off to them. They did work hard. They can strike. Teachers can strike. We can't strike. You know, sorry, client, I've got to leave you today. I'm going out, you know, out on the side of the banks with me ballot card. We're all like bored, waving it around. Woo, woo, woo. Do you know what I mean? I can't do that, can I? Can't be doing that. So yeah, there's this like a 6-person method or something that like for every 6 people you know, someone knows something or someone, everyone knows somebody in care. Do you know what I mean? And they stand there and say, well, we're so grateful, but where is the recognition? Do you know what I mean? Where's our pay increase? Do you know what I mean? It's the long hours and that we look after these people. We are not just, you know, carers. We are their PAs, we're their family, we're maids, we're cooks. There's so much, we're DIY. I was putting shelves up the other week, you know, I was painting the other week. Do you know what I mean? I'm like a Bob the Builder, mate. Do you know, I'm a taxi driver. Do you know, I organise events. I'm a cashier. I'm a finance person. So I think there's so much to it. Do you know what I mean? I think we are quite qualified in what we do. You know, I speak to a lot of, I had a lady, Sarah Gribble, or Newman now, she's married, or is it Gribble now? I can't remember. But Sarah joined and she was coming in and she was quite shocked that we give medication. She was like, oh, I used to work in a care home where it was nurses who gave medication. And she went, and you give medication? I was like, yeah. I said, we also give controlled drugs. And she was like, you what? And I was like, yeah, we give that. We have the training for that. And she was like, oh my God. She went, that is like insane. But like to anyone else, we're just people who just do the shopping and make cups of tea and stuff like that. And I think, no, we're not. We're the people that get, you know, the bad days, the good days, the sad days, you know, crying or they're in pain and upset, and we're always there. We're never going to go. So I just think we need that recognition now. You know, I'd love to go and see Rishi Sunak and go, hello, darling, how are you? Right, come along, open up your wallet. We all know you got that money. Do you know what I mean? Just, I'm like, all right then. But yeah, I think we are definitely... We're hidden for our talents, 100%, definitely, yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, raise awareness.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
Do you know what I mean? We can't stand on a picket line and strike, but we can sit here and voice our opinions and how we feel, because we have those bad days. There's days, don't get me wrong, I love my job, but I sit there and think, I can't do this today. You know, I've got so much going on in my personal life that I can't do it. But then I sit there and think, I got ill. Who else is going to do it? You know what I mean? So I got to get up and I got to go. You know, I got to sort out one of my ladies. Do you know what I mean? I got to attend that meeting. So it's all for the greater good. But it's just, you know, it's recognised enough, I don't think. No, it's not. It's sad. There's such a stigma around care. There's such a stigma. Like one of my ladies is going to Butlins next week with two of my staff. You know, well, what other job could you do that? Do you know what I mean? They're getting paid to go to Butlins and have been paid to go on that holiday by the client, and they're going to go and sit and sing ABBA for 5 nights this week.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, where on earth would you do that? I mean, that's crazy. My partner, he goes and works away. He's got to pay for his own fuel. He's got to pay for his own dinners. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, they're going to Butlins and it's all paid for. And they're like, he's like, what? I don't understand. I was like, well, you know what I mean? Go and sit in a cinema. Go to the Hippodrome. There's so many good things that we do. Like the boat trip. We're planning the boat trip. Do you know what I mean? We're going to go on the river. Like, what the hell? And I'm being paid for it.
Literally.
Just daft.
Going out when it's sunny, like with knowing that, like, if you're on shift and if the sun comes out, you can go out.
Go and have an ice cream.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm like, oh, I just got to pay for that. Thank you. That's nice. Lovely. I enjoy it. I'm like, oh, yeah, what can we do today?
What's your favourite memory since being here, like of days out or holidays, anything in particular?
I think supporting my client to go to Butlins. Was it last year? No, year before. For me, that was crazy.
Was that you and Sarah?
Me and Sarah
I remember.
Yeah, taking JR. That was crazy. That was just like, oh my gosh. And I got to see her on a completely different level. So normally with JR, I can't be near her because she's very handsy, not of her own fault. She just likes to touch everyone and everything. And I remember we were sat there one night, we stayed in, put a film on, she had her legs out, and I was sat right next to her and she didn't touch me. And she just sat there and I thought, oh, look how relaxed she is. Do you want to move down here or what? But do you know what I mean? I think for me, that was that point. And I was just like, I've just been paid to come in a car that I've not put the fuel in. She's funded this holiday because she's entitled to it because it's in her care package that she loves holidays. And I'm sat here in Butlins, like, what on earth is going on? You know what I mean? We had a box of popcorn, a can of Coke, and I was like, way Abba, yeah. Got up and danced with her. I was like, oh, lovely.
It's literally what you would probably do if you like went on a holiday.
That's
like,
what I mean.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there'll be alcohol.
Yeah,
okay, but do you know what I mean? We didn't have any, didn't fancy it. But it was like, this is weird. This is so surreal. It was kind of like a pinch me moment, and the sun was shining. Went to the beach, and I was like, I feel like I'm actually on holiday, but I'm just looking after JR at the same time.
And it's like probably moments like that when you're thinking like all the kind of tough days, it is just worth it.
It is 100%. All the meetings, all the paperwork, and everything like that. It is so worth it. And to see it happen is just amazing. Like I was looking at for DM last night. I was, again, don't shut off. 9 o'clock last night, looking at a holiday for her in a caravan because they do bespoke caravans. So I was like, I messaged one of them. I was like, is your bed profiling? Because they had everything else. But I just wanted to make sure the bed was a profiling bed with the sides going up. And I thought, how amazing would that be? Take 3 staff, 4 staff, off you go. Go to Wales for the weekend. Bye-bye. Do you know what I mean? She'd love that.
She would have loved that.
That's
oh
what
my God.
In the club at night, she'd be well away. Lovely. I'm like, oh, there's so neither. Do you want a drink?
We'll bleep it out, don't
yeah.
worry.
Well, I've done quite well because normally I'm a potty mouth, so I swear quite a bit. So we're quite good at them. I'm not swore.
We can bleep you out anyway.
That's fine.
We've got all the technology.
That's fine.
Well, Ben,
if you could like smooth me over, that would be fantastic as well because I've put no makeup on. It's terrible. But yeah, that is my ultimate favourite moment, I think, to point. Yeah. And I think for personal as well, I think growing within 3 Trees and excited for what is to come. You know, just come out of a meeting and I'm so excited. So excited. I can't wait. So,
oh my gosh,
yeah.
so much.
So watch this space because it's happening.
Oh my God.
I know there's some big changes, but they're so exciting changes as well. Yeah, which is really good. So can't say nothing. So Yvonne's like, don't say nothing about it. But next week.
Oh my God, how exciting.
So yeah, it is going to be really good.
You've probably seen then like a lot of growth within like in terms of the people that you support. You probably, because you've been here for so long, you've probably seen them grow and like witness that. Like,
yeah, I definitely have. Obviously it's sad because when I first started, I used to do a lot of day service. We've lost a lot of service users because of COVID. But my 2 main ones I've, obviously kept for the supported living. in comparison when I first met them, they're so different now. You know, DM never would eat. She now eats like 3 meals a day.
She loves it.
That's what I mean. It's just insane. So I think, and even like the staff, and, you know, we've obviously got a lot of turnover at the moment, and people do have a right mind to, you know, want to change their career. I think, you know, good luck, wish you all the best. But even like down to like things like this, you know, that obviously we all used to work in the office together and we work from home. It is a better work-life balance. But I think, yeah, we're going to grow. I think we're coming into like the 21st. It's like 21st, 20. I don't know what century we're in at the moment. But, you know, we're coming into, Ben, what century are we in at the moment?
Tell us.
Is it like 21st or 22nd? 21st. We're coming into like how it's going to be. And I think that's good. We're coming away from like the institutionalized side of things. No big blocks of flats with them all in. They're going to have their own homes. And I think this is going to be great. I think this is going to be good. You know, they're going to have their own gardens. If they want a hot tub, they can have a bloody hot tub. Do you know what I mean? Have a lazy spa if you want it in your garden.
This is all so exciting.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so very excited for what's to come.
So like in a few years from now, how would you envision like
everyone in their own homes, and just, I think, living the life that they all deserve to live. I think 100%, you know, doing the things they want to do and go out and achieve the things they want to. And I think we had such a good COVID story as well. I think when, you know, we were in the loop of obviously, you know, seeing all other care homes go down, losing clients left, right and centre. And we had one who survived. And I think that showed how good we were at what we did. Don't get me wrong, I was sat here in this room in January and they were laughing at me, 2020. I was like, has anyone seen this virus that's going around? And they were like, oh, Lauren, shut up. No, I tell you now, they can eat my words. I was right. Knew I was right. I was going out buying the Dettol. I was that mass buyer of Dettol. It was me. I had a cupboard full of it. But I brought it into work because I was like, well, I told you all, didn't I?
Do you know what? I remember so many people were like, no.
I went on the hen do in the February and it was so rammed. It was Becca's hen do in Cardiff. And I was walking around with a scarf up here and everyone was laughing at me. I was like, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Because it's here. It is here. Do you know what I mean? But it was scary. It was because we just didn't know. We didn't know what it was. We didn't have tests. At one point we didn't have PPE. You know, it was scary. It was so scary. And I think not knowing as well, someone just had a cough because it was quite a high hay fever season as well. Having loads of staff off with suspected COVID, but we couldn't test them was even worse. I remember being sent home because I had a really bad cough. And I was like, oh no, it's just hay fever. And Liz was like, no, you need to go home. This is not good. And I was like, all right. And then I was stuck at home. And I was like, oh my God, I'm pulling my hair out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then having some staff who were classed as vulnerable, they were off for 13 weeks as well. And that was scary. Because you're like, oh my God, are they all right? Are you all right? I remember like Sarah Dell was off. I went and sat outside her house. I was like, are you all right? Are you all right? And eventually I was allowed to go in and sit in her garden. But it was just scary. It was so scary. But I'm glad now that it's going away. You know, we have to live with it now. So.
As well, like now we're so prepared for anything to come.
Oh yeah, we're ready for it.
Yeah, like so, yeah.
Any other virus, bring it on. We're ready. We got more PPE than we need, let me tell you. But yeah, I think it's opened our eyes as well as the fact, not just like COVID, but you know, how fast things can spread, like neurovirus, you know, DMV, you know, we have cases of like impetigo. So we hype it up. I think it helped us understand infection control a lot more because it was quite basic of what we had. But, you know, being the COVID psycho that I was, I created a slide sheet and told Yvonne, like, a presentation, you need to put that in your training. I said, put that in training. And she was like, all right. And then we do it together now. We both sit and do it together. But, yeah, it was very scary. It all seems now like a distant memory.
Yeah.
It feels like
a blur.
Like 2020 and 2021 was just gone.
To anybody who is considering becoming a care worker, going into it, like, but they're like dubious, they're unsure. What would your advice be?
Do it. Honestly, 100%. Do it. The things we do, it's just, you know, you think you're in a mundane job in like retail or whatever. Just do it. I think everyone in their lifetime should work in certain sectors, and care is one of them. Because I think even if you go, oh, I don't like it, because it is a Marmite job, you either love it or you hate it. I think it opens your eyes to how things are done. You know, I didn't even know how these guys were getting funded. Now I've learned all that. And I can help other people as well. So I'll be like, oh, you know, oh yeah, go and speak to this person, contact the council, do this. And they're like, oh, thank you very much. But I think just do it. I think do it. Yeah. It is. Don't get me wrong, the hours are long, but it goes so fast.
Yeah, and as well,
it goes so fast.
Like you could get all your shifts done in 3 days, and then you'd have the rest of the week.
That's what I mean. Like one of my staff, my sister Danielle, actually, she does like, she's off for like 3 days, I think, and then she used to do 4 days in, and then she won't be back into like the following like Monday or something. It was crazy. And she was like, oh my God, I've got all these days off. And it's like, there's so much flexibility around it as well.
100%, yeah.
As well. And for me, like another big thing, like when I first joined Three Trees, I wasn't really great financially. I had a really bad relationship with money. As I've worked here, I've grown to have a good relationship, and it's helped me so much because I'm like, right, this month I'm going to book New York, right? So for 3 months straight, I worked some hours. I was like, right, let me get it in. But I went away with like so much spending money, and I actually enjoyed myself. I've like been able to save for a house, for a deposit, because I was like, right, if I just work that odd weekend, that'll add up. So I think it is good, and I get not everyone has that luxury. You might have children, or you might care for someone at home, but you know, it is good money. I think we're very goodly paid, 100%. Yeah, I think like some other care companies are like basic, and I get you can go work in McDonald's, or you know, or I could, you know, flip a burger for that, and I don't begrudge anyone who does that, because a job's a job at the end of the day. You know, you earn your own money, fair play to you. But I think this is really rewarding. I can go home and be really happy.
Thank you so much.
That's
for joining
okay.
us, Lauren. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Join Three Trees.
Woo!
Now.
I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
Oh my God, that's mine and Ben's.
Because
Yay!
I, 1, hate driving in Bristol, and 2, I'm very late for everything. So I think,
oh my gosh,
I could just fly there. Yeah, be done with it. Bye.
Literally, you'd save so much time.
I wouldn't want to read minds because I can't cope with my own thoughts, let alone anyone else's.
That's funny because our last Emily literally just said she'd want to read minds.
Oh, I couldn't. My brain is just like all the time. So like having yours and Ben's in there, I'd be like, oh my God, no. Unless I could turn it on and off, but no. Definitely to fly, 100%. I won't want to be invisible either, because imagine if you like walked in on something you didn't want to see. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They call you us, no thank you. Wrong room, bye. Oh my God.
Coitus, that's what Sheldon.
Exactly, Sheldon Cooper, bit of coitus for you there.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
No worries.
You've been
this
amazing.
Was a 2.5.
We need more Laurens in the world.
I know. I think I've like signed up Sarah and Casey as well. So I'm like, yeah, you can do it together
amazing.
if not. And they were like, okay.
Yep. See, we were thinking that because I was chatting to Yvonne and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, Yvonne and Laura would be great on together. What a duo.
Laura would be hilarious.
Yes,
on
she
here.
would.
You would have
There'd
to
be
put
a lot of
like
bleeps in there.
Oh my God, you would have to like do the introduction of like a lot of explicit language used. Viewers' discretion is advised. You'd have to put it on after 9 o'clock at night as well.
Literally. The Three Trees late. What did you say?
The late show, like James Corden. But we can call it somewhere else. Well, he's not going to do it anymore, so we can steal it, can't we? Yeah. Thanks, James. Cheers, Ben.
Is he not doing it anymore?
No,
I never really watched it, to be honest.
It's quite funny. I like the spill your guts things where you got to answer like loads of funny questions. They like pick his brains.
Oh yeah, I did watch Harry Styles one.
So good. I watch all the Kardashians on there because I just love the Kardashians. So hi Kim, hi Chloe, hi Courtney.
If you want to be on the show, let us know.
Drop me a DM, babe.